निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते यततो ह्यपि कौन्तेय पुरुषस्य विपश्चितः इन्द्रियाणि प्रमाथीनि हरन्ति प्रसभं मनः तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः संगस्तेषूपजायते संगात् संजायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशः बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति So we have seen this verse, particular verse we are doing. It is Vishayaha Vinivartante, meaning objects can leave one's life. Meaning one can keep away from the object. You are not making noise. Aram se. Paper ko aram se. Vishayaha Vinivartante. Objects can leave you. Meaning you can keep away from the objects effortlessly. Niraharasya, when you live a life of non-indulgence. Like Ekadashi is a day on which you see what happens, you decide not to eat. So you can keep away from food. Just listen to this, very useful. On Ekadashi day you decide not to eat. Therefore you can keep away from food. But rasavarjam. But there is always taste for it. You don't renounce, you renounce food all right, you don't renounce the taste for it, the food, the desire for it, the love for it. Taste means the love. Taste means here the love. The love for food you can't renounce. On no Ekadashi day, nobody, on every Ekadashi day you may renounce food, not renounce love for food. Hey Rama. That love for food is always retained, is always there. That's called rasa varjam. Clear? So there are two different things. Renouncing an object is one thing. Renouncing the love for an object is quite different. Renouncing an object is by will. Renouncing the love for it is through wisdom. Willing is different from discovering. Willing is different from you use a will. Aaj mai khana nahi khaunga. Is it wisdom or willing? Willing. You make a resolve. It's a resolve. Bas. It's a resolve. It's a resolve. I will not, from next, the doctor says I have to reduce weight and I should be invisible, I should remain so thin and so slim, I should be absolutely invisible. And then afterwards start looking like a TB patient. All these people are dieting, they all start looking like what? TB patients. And they are very vulnerable to TB, I am telling you. Because you have no resistance. Kuch nahi na. Now there is no flesh at all, there is nothing, skin and bone. And then you go and stand in front of somebody who has a TB and then he coughs and you get it. Yes. Have some stamina in the body. Therefore you make a resolve for the next 1 month I am not going to. It's easy to renounce food, it's okay. It may be easy to renounce food, that's making a resolve to renounce food is not difficult. But renouncing the taste for food, the love for food is not easy. Even making a resolve to give all your money away. Sometimes many people make some, there is some problem, emotional problem. Aaj se pura paisa mera le lo. You give all to your son, then walk out. It's an emotion. It's an emotion. Afterwards, then you start thinking, when everything's upside, maine ye kaam kyun kiya? I'm telling you. Why did I give away everything? The wisdom dawns when the emotions subside. When the impulses subside, the wisdom dawns. Therefore, even if you give away, even if you make a resolve to give all your money away to your children, is your love for it is gone? You give all your money away, but rasa varjam. Repeat this phrase. You give all the money away, but rasa varjam. Rasa varjam means what? It leaves behind the love for it. You can't give away the love. The love for wealth, the love for the objects, the love for name, the love for fame, it can't be willed away. It can't be wished away. You can't renounce it by resolve. On a New Year day, you can make a resolve and then renounce a lot of things. But you can't resolve the taste for the things. And we have got a lot of examples, very beautiful examples. Yudhishthira gave away, staked his kingdom, and then he gambled his kingdom away. But can he gamble his taste for the kingdom away? Can you lose your love for money in gamble? You can lose your money, but not, oh my God, if you lose your love for money in a gamble, then everybody is better to gamble and then take sannyas. Therefore, Yudhishthira gambled his kingdom away, gambled his wife away, gambled his brothers away, but he did not gamble his love for the kingdom away. This is a clear example. And then when the time came, he got back everything. In fact, after losing all the kingdom, he fought for the sake of for king to get it back. Harishchandra. Yudhishthira had a problem of convention. Conventions are not more important than our sanity, understand? Conventions are not more important than sanity. And therefore, the convention, people, just because, everybody has to follow conventions, we make ourselves unhappy by following certain wrong conventions. A convention should not be followed just because it is a convention. A convention should be followed if it is a right convention. A convention should be followed only when it is the right convention. So his problem was, he had an emotional problem, some crisis. So if somebody really invites you for gambling, you should not say, no, what a thing, what a convention. You say, if somebody invites you for gambling, the convention used to be that you should not say, a king should not say no. It's almost like these days in the parties also, there is a convention. If somebody offers you a drink, you should drink. The convention is that you should drink. You should not say no, because it's not done. What is this? What is this convention? What is this convention? I say, even if it is not a done thing, even still I can do it. If it is a wrong thing, why should I do it? Why should I not avoid it? Therefore, Yudhishthira's problem in our country, a lot of problems came into our country because we followed certain conventions, and even if they are wrong conventions, we still followed them, and then they brought us misery. A lot of wrong conventions. Satya Harishchandra, like Bhishma also, he took a resolve. Krishna went on being critical. I say, your father wanted to marry. And then he took a resolve. Even if you make a resolve, in fact, I say, when constitutions of the nations are available for editing and change, your resolve, can't it be changed? If it can be changed for the better. I should be able to change my decisions if it is necessary to change for the better. Are you able to follow? Even though I have made a resolve, but if that resolve happens to be wrong, I should be able to renounce it. Yudhishthira went on following this wrong convention, and then he lost everything, all right. But anyway, he got it back. That's what I am telling you. You may gamble your kingdom away. You can gamble your kingdom away, but you can't. There is always rasavarjam. Harishchandra, had another ego. He was Satya Harishchandra, but not without ego. Understand? This is a ego. This is the ego problem. All these people have ego. What is it? Your people are more important than keeping your word. You wanted a name that everybody should look upon me as Satya Harishchandra. Therefore, whoever came and asked anything, he gave away. Is it necessary to give away things to somebody? Or use it for the common good? Therefore, somebody wanted to test. Indra comes and he says, can you give me something? He says, you ask for anything, I will give. What is it? Is it not vanity? You ask for anything, I will give. Is it not vanity? I mean, as far as I am concerned, I would like to understand my culture. And I would like to look at this statement that you ask for anything, I will give you, is a vanity. Why? I am a king. I have responsibility for the people. I can't give away anything to one person. I need to look after them. I need to look after them. And then Indra comes and says, well, Satya Harishchandra, and he says, I want that much of wealth, so much of wealth. He asked for so much of wealth. Then he had to give his kingdom away. Then still it was not complete. Then he had to sell his own family, his wife and children. Even that was not enough, and ultimately he had to become a worker in a cremation ground. But was it necessary? It is all result of what? It's a vanity. It's a vanity. What should you give? Responsibility is more important than parading your vanity. What did I say? Responsibility is more important. Fulfilling one's responsibility is more important than parading one's vanity. Karna, Duryodhana had depended upon Karna for his victory. Therefore, Karna must always feel that because he depends upon me, I should keep my kavacha and kundala. And then he says, whoever came and asked me, I will give it away. Why? That's also vanity. That is also vanity. That is why Panchatantra says, our scripture says, you see, Deshe Kalecha Patrecha Yaddanam Satvikam Taddanam Satvikam Smritam. You see, you can't really Danam. Danam is only the right Danam, which is given to the right person at the right time, at the right place, for the right cause. When you give something, always give something to the right person, Patra, at the right time, and also at the right place, and for the right cause. You give. You can't close your eyes and then say, because you asked me, and I want to prove that I am a great donor, therefore give away. What is the use of it? But anyway, Satya Harishchandra gave away all his wealth, but did he lose his love for money? No. These all just resolves. These are all emotional problems. Human beings have their emotions and they want to just indulge in their emotions. I want a name, therefore I am ready to do all that. And therefore, this what we call giving up money is one thing and overcoming the taste for it is different. Overcoming the taste for it comes through wisdom. Wisdom means looking at oneself. Now, all right. Rasopyasya, see the next verse. Rasavarjam. It is easy to renounce objects, it is easy to renounce wealth, it is easy to renounce even people, but to renounce the value for them, to renounce the love for them, to renounce the taste for them, to renounce really attraction for them is not possible. But that becomes possible only when rasopi, even the taste, api, also, asya, of this person, param drishtva, having understood the truth, param, the truth, drishtva, having understood, nivartate, returns. Even the taste for the things goes away, the love for the things goes away when one sees the truth. Understanding the truth handles the taste for things. Leaving the things, I can renounce the things by resolve, I can renounce the things through an emotion, I can renounce the things through an emotion, I can renounce the things through a resolve, through a volition, through a decision, but I can resolve the taste for the things only through wisdom. And what is the definition of wisdom? Looking at oneself. There is no greater wisdom. You can't gain more wisdom from anything than looking at yourself. Do you know what is that wisdom? In fact, all that you are looking for is yourself. You are indeed what you are looking for. You are the answer to all your problems. One is the answer, you are the answer, the right thinking is the answer. The right thinking about myself is the answer, the wrong thinking about myself is the problem. I am going to repeat this thing. It is not our wrong thinking about others. That is the problem. We don't entertain, there is no wrong thinking about something else, nor right thinking about something else. All our wrong thinking is about ourselves, and the right thinking also is about. I am incomplete is the wrong thinking about oneself. I am inferior is the wrong thinking about oneself. I am empty is the wrong thinking about oneself. I am this form is the wrong thinking about myself. I have a birth and death is the wrong thinking about oneself. I am non-eternal is the wrong thinking about oneself. Like this, in fact, all thinking is about oneself. You can't think about anything else. Every thought is a thought about oneself. Like, I want to go to America. Now, I'm giving you please think this. I want to go to America is a thought. Now, you may ask me a question, Swamiji, this want to go to America, how can it be a thought about myself? This thought of going to America also is a thought about yourself. You think that you are very incomplete here, you will become complete there is a thought about yourself. The thinking about money is a thought about myself. When without money I am incomplete, with money I will be complete. With this I will be complete, without that I am incomplete, going there I will be complete, not going there I will be incomplete. Therefore, every thinking, in fact, is a thinking about oneself. Why? Because there is nothing else to think about. Therefore, even when you are thinking about your cousins and the you are having dislike for them, let us say. You are thinking about your cousins with a dislike. You are not thinking about your cousins, you are thinking about yourself. That means what? You are entertaining a thought, looking at yourself as jealous. It's a perception of oneself as jealous. That means what? You think that with him growing, I am not happy. That means I conclude that I become happy when others are unhappy. I conclude that I am happy when others are unhappy, and I am unhappy when others are happy, is a conclusion about what? About myself. Therefore, all jealousies are thinking about oneself. Therefore, we become unhappy. Our unhappiness is due to wrong thinking about ourselves. Our happiness, therefore, is based on right thinking about ourselves. And that self is Param. The self, which is the topic of all thinking. The self, which is the topic of all thinking. The self, which is the topic of all wrong thinking, which is the topic of right thinking. The self, which is the topic, there is no second topic. That topic is called Param. Having understood that self, well, even the taste for things goes away. Now I am going to explain to you the meaning of the word Param. Param means, we have translation, supreme. One word. What is Param? Supreme. What does supreme mean? Relax and think. What does supreme mean? Supreme, you don't know, Swamiji? S-U-P-R-E-M-E. Great. That is a sound. What is the meaning of the word supreme? What is the meaning of the word supreme? What is the meaning of the word supreme? Best. Okay. But does it convey? Word best. Does it convey? It conveys nothing. The word best doesn't convey the truth. The word supreme doesn't convey the word supreme. I mean the Param. Param, it cannot be explained away by the word supreme. Supreme. What is supreme? Param means, I am going to explain to you. See whether there is a difference. Param means Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna, Shunyam. Aparichinnam. Like this object is in space. When you transcend space, this object also is transcended. Therefore, it goes with the space. Therefore, this object has spatial limitation. You have to hear this. And you are not going to understand what I am saying just like that. कुछ समझ में नहीं आने वाला. This object has got spatial limitation because it goes with the space. And this object has Kala Paricheda, time-wise limitation, because when you transcend time, you transcend what is in time. When we transcend space, we transcend what is in space. When we transcend thought, we transcend what is in thought. This object is also in thought. It's an object of thought. This is the realm of thought. Therefore, when space is, this is. When space is gone, this is gone. When time is gone, this is gone. When thought is gone, it is gone. Thus, these four things are concomitant. Time, space, thought, object. Time, space, thought, object are concomitant. You transcend one, you transcend the rest. You transcend one, you transcend the rest. Are you able to follow? Param means what is not in time, what is not in space, what is not in thought, what is not an object. The Param is that which is aware of the space, and when the space is gone, it is aware of the negation of the space. Like in sleep, the space is gone and all the objects in it also are gone. And whose knowledge is it? The one who experiences the negation of space. In deep sleep state, there is no space, you don't feel the space. Nor one feels the objects or the presence of the object. Therefore, the one who witnesses the negation of space and all the negation of the objects. The one who witnesses the negation of time and all that is there in time. The one who witnesses the negation of thought and all that is in it. The one who witnesses the negation doesn't have negation. To see negation, the one who sees the negation has no negation. Therefore, we as the observer is not in time. We observe the beginning and end of time. We as the observer is not in space. We observe the beginning and end of space. And we as the observer are not in time. We observe the beginning and end of time. We observe the beginning and end of space. We observe the beginning and end of thought. And therefore, that observer, we, that is something, is not inside time or space or an object or thought. As free from time, space and form and thought. It is called Param. That which doesn't disappear with time. That which doesn't disappear with the thought. That which doesn't disappear with the form. That which is there even to testify to the negation of thought. That which testifies to the negation of the thought doesn't have negation. That is called Param. And it is something that is timeless. Therefore, and such a Param is only one. There can't be two Params. Are you able to follow? There is only one observer. There is no second observer. There is only one observer. There is no second observer. We are that sole observer. We is a plural from the point of view of the objects, forms. We is a plural from the point of view of the many bodies. But otherwise, as observer, we are only one. Therefore, as the observer, we are one. As forms, we are many. As that observer, we are Param, understanding our identity as the unnegatable observer of the time, space, form, thought and their negation. Having understood our identity in that manner, we become free from the taste even for the objects. Are you able to follow? Okay, thus Bhagavan has helped us to discern between renouncing things and renouncing the taste. And in the last class, I also said something which deserves recapitulation, which deserves repetition. That is, object is other than me. The taste for it is not other than us, meaning it is a part of me as an individual. Therefore, wherever I go, I carry the taste. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. Therefore, when you go to Himalayas also, you carry the taste. You carry the taste. That's why a person who drinks, he goes to an ashram or Himalayas, what will he look for? He will look for some drinks because he left the drinks here but carried the taste. Spirituality is in the form of tackling that taste. Spirituality is not merely in the form of renouncing the objects, even though renouncing the objects is also a part, no doubt it is respectable. Renouncing the physical things is respectable, but ultimately the spirituality forms. The body of spirituality lies in the actual spirituality, lies in tackling the love for the objects. Because what disturbs man inside is the taste. Even sitting in a cave, if I have taste for something and that something is not there, I am missing it. Is it not? I am missing it. And what can nag man than the thought that I am missing something? Taste. It nags. It gnaws into one's, individuality. It is gnawing. It is annoying. It is nagging. It is disturbing. It is very, 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 it just takes away all my relaxation. And therefore, Bhagavan says, discern, distinguish between renunciation of the physical things and the inner love. I will give you another small incident. This is very interesting. Bhartrihari left his wife in a huff. There is an emotional problem. There is an emotional problem. What is it? He discovered that his wife was not that loyal to him. This problem is there. Whenever you discover that, my God, my wife has got somebody else in her mind, that husband is very, 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 very miserable. Therefore, in order to make a husband miserable, a wife, what should do? She should always look, as though there is somebody else in her mind. I am telling you, that is the only way, but don't do that. But then what happened? Some sadhu brought a mango to a Bhartrihari. I will tell you a story. This I have told before. A sadhu brought a wonderful mango, safeda, he brought and gave it to this man, a good mango. The king thought, my God, such a wonderful mango. I don't want to eat this mango. I would like to present it to my wife. And he gave it to his wife. Please, this is the best mango. Please go and enjoy. Please take it. This is a present. And the wife took it. He said, such a wonderful mango. How can I take it? And therefore I should give it to my man. And then she took it and gave it to the general. The army general. And then the army general thought, my God, it is such a wonderful fruit. How can I take it? I should give it to the maid, his own friend, girlfriend. She happened to be a maid servant. Understand? And he gave it to the maid servant. And the maid servant thought, my God, such a wonderful mango. In fact, my master, my Swami, my Annadatta is the Raja, and therefore I should give it to the king. And then he brings that mango back and then gives it to the king. Bhartrihari, the king. Just for a while, imagine what must have gone through his mind to get that mango back. He started wondering, how did it come back to me? I gave it to my wife. How did it come back to me? Made investigation and discovered the whole thing. He simply got up from the chair, from the throne. He walked off into the forest. He thought, when I have been living for her, she has been living for somebody else. What is this life for? What is it? It's an emotion. It's an emotional problem. These are all emotions. And then really, it is a frustration. Emotion means frustration. It's a disappointment with a particular person. It is a disappointment. And then he goes to the forest and becomes a sadhu. Now, this is what I want to say. And he writes a book. In that book, do you know what he says? Oh Manaha, oh mind, you have seen what is this world. You have gone through the problem. Why do you crave the same thing back? He tells his mind. Understand? He tells his mind, oh mind, why do you crave the same thing which you have left behind and you know it is not worth craving for? It's not even worth looking for. It's not even worth looking back at. It's not even worth looking back at. But yet, why are you craving for it? In this manner, he asks questions to himself. What does it prove? He has the taste. He has the taste. He has the attraction. It's not easy. Disappointments can't destroy the value for things. Disappointments can't destroy the taste for things. The taste is overcome only in looking into the truth of our being. Spirituality lies in tackling the taste. Are you able to follow? Thus he has shown the distinction. Then we go to the next verse. Yatato hyapi kaunteya. Now there is a problem. If you do some sadhana, you will overcome the taste. Strong will can help you overcome the taste. Strong resolve can help you to overcome the taste, etc., etc. We still try to use our will as the means. Krishna says, your will has a limitation. Your resolve has a limitation. Your effort has a limitation, and don't overstretch it. And your resolves, however strong they are, they can't accomplish things which are not meant to be accomplished through mere will and resolve. I will try my best to convey the difference between resolve. Resolve is a synonym of will. You have to listen. Will, resolve, volition, effort, will, resolve, decision. These are all synonyms. And one's will has a limitation. Where the will fails, where the will can't reach, your wisdom can reach. Wisdom is something else. That is seeing what is what. Investigation is different from mere will. It's like, you see, supposing you have joint pain. I'll give you an example. Perhaps it can convey. If it doesn't convey, then we'll see. Joint pain. You have a joint pain. You have a knee joint. You have a knee joint pain. Arthritis. Pain. And then says you must use your will to bear with it. Now, how much can you bear with it? Your will has a limitation. Therefore, you use your will, use your will to bear with it. Use your resolve to bear with it. You go on bearing with it. And then afterwards, what do? You break down. Yes, you break down. Karna put up with the pain. He went to Parashurama. Karna happened to be someone who was a Kshatriya, but he didn't know exactly what his identity was. But then he goes to Parashurama, who happened to be a Brahmana, and he was teaching only some certain people. Then this Karna goes, he says, I am a Brahmana. He tells a lie for a particular purpose of learning. Parashurama teaches him, and then one day, Karna learned so much from Parashurama, and then he was very grateful to Parashurama for teaching him all the vidyas. And then one day, Parashurama had lunch, and then after lunch he wanted to rest, but there was no pillow around. But then Karna offered his own lap. Karna offered his own lap as a pillow for Parashurama, and Parashurama was reclining and taking a nap. At that time, a worm comes, and which is that worm? And we are not going into those episodes. A worm, or an insect. An insect comes and bores into the flesh of Karna. You must hear that. What I am saying is very important. That insect comes and makes a hole into it, bores into the flesh of Karna, and Karna puts up with the pain because he didn't want to move his lap. and so that the Parashurama can remain undisturbed, he can have sleep. And then he puts up with it, puts up with it, puts up with it, puts up with it, and then the blood comes out and then touches that warm blood, touches the skin of Parashurama, and then Parashurama wakes up. You understand? Parashurama wakes up. What is this? If Parashurama did not wake up for some more time, I am sure Karna would have broken down. Yes. Because there is nobody who doesn't break down in the face of pain. It's not possible. Because man's capacity to put up with things has a limitation. Your will has a limitation. Your resistance has a limitation. Your titiksha has a limitation. Are you hearing? Your titiksha has a limitation. Your capacity to stand things has a limitation. Your capacity to put up with heat has a limitation. Your capacity to put up with cold has a limitation. Your capacity even to put up with insults thrown by others, hurled by others, has a limitation. Ultimately what happens? when because our will is limited, our capacity is limited, then what is the ultimate result? We simply break down. Yes, we simply break down. And therefore, in order to live through life, don't depend merely on will. Krishna says, you need to know. There is something to know about yourself, in which vision, living through difficulties becomes easier. Living through difficulty, because there are a lot of difficulties which can be avoided by right vision. Every difficulty one doesn't have to go through. Lot of difficulties we create, like Karna for instance. Let us take the example of Karna. If he had the exposure to Vedanta, let us say, if he was more interested in self-knowledge, if he were more interested in peace, if he were more interested in peace and harmony, if he were more, rather than interest in fighting and conquering, he would not have gone for all that. You understand, that a desire to fight and conquer also puts us in various difficulties. Ambitions create difficulties. And therefore here Krishna says, first line, read the first line. Yatato hyapi kaunteya, yatataha api. Yatataha means even though one makes effort. Yatato hyapi, even though one makes an effort. Kaunteya, hey Arjuna. Purushasya, a person who makes an effort. Vipaschitaha, and he is a person, a well-meaning, intelligent person, a very thinking person. There is a person who is a thinking person and who makes also effort. Even then, it is not easy to overcome the taste for the objects. That is said, Indriyani, the sense organs, Pramathini, means very restive. Pramathini means, restive. Restive means, they are very strong. They are very distracting. Sense organs are very distracting. When we say even a thinker's senses are distractive, meaning what? Even a thinker's sense organs distract him. Even a strong man's senses are distractive, means they distract his attention to the objects. Sense organs by their nature are very strong. An individual is simply waylaid by the senses. When we say as an individual is waylaid by the senses, misled by the senses, distracted by the senses, we have to understand it is not the sense organs that distract a person, it is the inner taste for the objects that distracts man's attention. As I told you, sense organs, eyes and ears are not sinners. They are not to blame because they are very beautiful. The sense organs, if we have bright eyes, bright ears, and bright taste buds, touch, smell. Healthy sense organs are an asset. We don't have to close our eyes, close our ears and taste and touch and smell, because they're all means of knowledge, pramanas. The problem that which disturbs a person, that which disturbs the person are not the senses. Eyes don't disturb, ears don't disturb, eyes can remain peaceful. They only report to me the form, the ears report to me the sounds, and the senses report to me the objects. They don't tell me to go here and there. Therefore, understand, sense organs, even though we use the phrase, senses distract, but actually senses don't distract. What distracts man is the inner taste, value. The word taste, I am giving you a few words. The value for objects, the taste for objects, and then pick it up for good. Value for objects, the taste for objects, the attraction for objects, all mean the same, and the implication is the belief that I will be happy through the objects. That belief is called the value for the objects. The value for the objects is in the form of that belief. That attraction for the objects is in the form of that belief. That love for the objects is in the form of that belief. That belief is an error, is a wrong belief. That wrong belief, it is an age-old wrong belief. It is a wrong belief. What is the belief? With the objects I will be happy. Objects will make me complete. Name will make me complete. Money will make me complete. People will make me complete. Pleasures will make me complete. Is what? Is a belief. It's not an emotion. It's not one of the emotions. Are you able to follow? It's a belief. It's a belief. And that belief is, Bhagavan says, that belief is born of ignorance. It's not a belief put in your mind by somebody. Like when we read a book, we collect some beliefs. You read a book, you collect some beliefs. And or you meet somebody, you collect some. In fact, when we meet people, we only keep collecting beliefs, really. This is what happens. Therefore, when you travel around the world, you don't come back, wiser. You come back heavier with more number of beliefs. Yes. Your baggage, in fact, you come back with really, you had less number of beliefs before. Now, after traveling the world, you collect so many kinds of beliefs. And all of them are nothing. But this belief that I will be happier with more and more money, it is not put into my mind by somebody. It's not collected from somebody. It's not collected from any book. I am born with this belief. Everybody is born with this belief. In fact, I am going to say something very important if you can understand it. We as individuals, that belief that I can become happier only through more and more things, only the things can make me happy, is a belief that is synonymous with our existence as individuals. Understand this point. I hope you have followed it. We as individuals are synonymous with the belief. We as individuals are synonymous with the belief that we will become happy only through the objects. That is why we say this belief itself looks like the value for things. This belief itself is the attraction for things. As long as that belief is there, attraction is there. As long as that belief is there, value is there. As long as that belief is there, taste is there. As long as that belief is there, taste is there. This belief, it's born of ignorance, therefore it is an erroneous belief. It is an erroneous belief. It is called adhyasa. Bhagavan says, as long as that belief is there, senses are pramathini. They are very, very strong. Haranti prasabham mana. The next is, the senses rob man's attention. Prasabham means in no time. Haranti means harte hain. Haranti means harte hain. Harte hain means they rob. Prasabham means, helplessly, in no time. Without my knowledge, I am distracted. Manaha, the mind. The mind is always, I am robbed of my mind. I am robbed of my mind by my taste. My taste robs me of my mind. My taste for things robs me of my mind, of my attention. I don't even know what happens. And you want to know the example. Now please see. Just another few minutes. Anyway, there is no use of going because it's raining. Where will you go? आराम से बैठ के सुनिए. You sit for meditation. Sit for meditation. So a person wants to meditate on Bhagavan. He remembers Bhagavan Vishnu. That is how the meditation begins. Will the mind remain there? I begin my meditation with visualizing Bhagavan Vishnu. How long do you visualize Bhagavan Vishnu? You don't even know when you leave that meditation, the thought, and think of other things. Think of Bhagavan Vishnu and think of Balaji. Then Balaji reminds you effortlessly of the laddus. And the laddus really take you to the next sweet shop. There is, mind keeps on moving from one object to another object through the law of association. Actually, mind runs not only mere through law of association, that is one thing. Another thing we need to understand is, mind always runs to those objects for which I have value. Bas. That is the only law. My attention only runs only to those objects for which I have value. If you have no value, when you sit in meditation, how many times do you think of your children and how many times do you think of your neighbor's children? In meditation. Do you ever think of your neighbor's children? No, it doesn't bother me. Because I have no value. How many times do you think of your neighbor's business? You don't. Therefore, mind runs not just my law of association, mind runs only through my value. Therefore, this value for things, this attachment, this attraction for things, which is nothing but the belief, well, really that cannot be overcome. Bhagavan Krishna says, by mere resolve. This is the point that is made. You can't overcome the taste by strong effort or by a strong resolve or by a strong, really what we call will. People explain it, it is so difficult, therefore you have to make a strong effort. That is where the problem is. The tradition is different. The scripture is teaching, hey, what cannot be overcome through resolve has to be overcome through wisdom. I hope I have conveyed this. It's like, your son, your son doesn't behave well, he doesn't go to school regularly, and he is not disciplined properly. Then what do? By strong will, by beating him up. By beating him up. By using your strong will, using your iron will on him. No, by using your iron will, you are not going to handle that. You have to use wisdom. You have to use wisdom, for which you may have to really put up with a lot of things. You may have to care for him and then find the right method, etc. So whatever is that wise approach, you have to follow the wise approach. A wiser approach can solve the problem where a strong will doesn't. Like a person who is supposed to drink, now if he has got a strong will to renounce it, even if he renounces it, by strong will, he will again pick it up unless he becomes wiser. He needs to become wiser, not stronger in will. He has to become wiser. He should become more responsible, not merely strong in his will. This is what Krishna is teaching. Don't try to use a strong will to overcome the taste. Don't suppress it. Ultimately, we use our strong will to suppress. And suppressing taste is not the right thing. Because what you suppress will come back again. We have to tackle it, we have to overcome it through understanding a certain truth, and that is this belief that I will be happier through the world is a wrong belief. Understanding how wrong this belief is, we overcome the taste. That's the topic which we will continue later on. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya